Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. I'm Latricia Powell, and thank you for tuning in to our Texan TV newscast. In campus news, Delta Phi Epsilon hosted several events on campus to raise awareness for the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders. DPhi hosted 5 days of activities for students to participate in. This included inviting students to write positive notes in a candlelight vigil on Friday. Christina Neely, Vice President of Programming for DPhi, said the purpose of ANAD is to have a lasting impression. Neely said she wants students to know that beauty isn't always on the outside. And in local news, the long-awaited Panda Express finally has a set date for when it will open in Stephenville. The Director of Restaurant Development Affairs for Panda Express, Hector Cornell, said they should be ready to open the first week in June. The restaurant will begin recruiting help in May and will be located on Washington Street next to Postafina. And now for state, national, and international news from the Associated Press. In state news, the funeral for a fallen Richardson police officer was held yesterday. Last week, Sherrod was shot as he entered a Richardson apartment in a response to a disturbance call. The suspect, Brandon McCall, faces a capital murder charge. Sherrod is the first Richardson police officer to be killed in the line of duty. And in national news, an elk jumped into a research helicopter that was trying to capture it in Utah. The Texas-based crew was trying to capture and sedate an elk and give it a tracking collar to research its movements. The elk jumped into the chopper's tail rotor as the aircraft flew 10 feet above ground. The helicopter was brought down due to the collision, and the elk died of its injuries on Monday afternoon. And in international news, a 29-year-old French man went on trial Tuesday in Paris for having sex with an 11-year-old girl, rekindling a debate on the age of sexual consent. Defense lawyers say the man and the girl met in a park. The girl voluntarily followed him to an apartment and consented to have sex. France does not have legal age under which a minor cannot agree to a sexual relationship, but courts rule that children 5 and under cannot consent. And in sports news, after early season losses, both the Texans and Texans came back last night with a vengeance, pulling 2 wins against the Texas A&M Commerce Lions. After the game, Katie McQuillan interviewed Lone Star Conference Defensive Player of the Week and Texan forward Josh Hawley. Let's take a look.
Hello Texas, this is Katie McQuillan and I am reporting from the women's basketball game. They are 30-26 at halftime. They are 10-6 in a conference, 16-8 overall, ranked number 4, playing Texas A&M Commerce right now. Thanks for tuning in. This is Katie McQuillan with Texan News Service. Katie McQuillan with Texan News here with Josh Hawley.
How you doing?
Alright, so that was a close game. It was your 4th win in a row. Your 3-time defensive player of the week. So how do you think that your team is peaking for the Lone Star Conference tournament?
Yes, we're doing good right now, you know what I'm saying? We on the road. We just got to keep playing together, you know what I'm saying? Finish our game strong. That'll get us to the tournament.
Sounds good. So you were just a part of Coach Reisman's 650 achievement win. What was it like being a part of the team while he won that?
Just inspiration, you know what I'm saying? The man who worked their hard, you know what I'm saying, to get that many wins, you know what I'm saying? Just an all-around team effort to help him get his 650 win. And that's just inspirational. So.
Very good. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Good job.
And now for today's weather. We're finally getting a break from the cold weather. It is currently 70 degrees outside, and by the end of the day, it will be as high as 77, with a low tonight of 59. The warm weather will stick around just until tomorrow, which will have a high of 77 and a low of 44. But expect it to be rainy and windy this weekend. And this has been a production of Texan TV News, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 on weekdays, and if you live off campus, tune in on Northland Cable Channel 9. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, and international news. Today's broadcast was produced by the Texan TV staff. Have a wonderful day, Texans.